How do you pick an offer and make sure that the buyer fulfills their obligation to close on the property? So you're holding offers on your property until Monday. Monday comes along and you've got all of these offers in front of you. Now you have to pick one. How do you pick an offer and make sure that the buyer fulfills their obligation to close on the property? Because here's an offer here, here's another offer here. Both of them have no conditions. Both of them, either one that you sign, the home is going to be sold firm. But how do you make sure that you're signing the strongest possible offer? How do you make sure that the buyer is going to be in the best position to close when it comes time to close the deal, a month, 2 months, 3 months from now? Well, a couple of things that you can do if you're selling your home to protect yourself is this. Number one, ask the buyer about their financial background. Maybe ask them, do you have a letter from the bank indicating that you've already got the financing lined up? Maybe ask the buyer for proof that they've already sold their home. Or, if you've got a buyer that still has to sell their home, ask your agent to maybe do a little bit of background and ask whether or not that buyer's home is saleable. You want to make sure that they've got a saleable home and that they don't have a unique property that's going to take a year to sell and push back your closing date. You want to make sure all of these factors are in place. The other thing that you want to do is you also want to hear from the buyer. You want to hear that they're not going to get cold feet. So there is something called a buyer love letter. So maybe the buyer tells themselves a little bit about themselves to you. So that way you know who you're selling the home to. Do they love your home? Or are they just is this an investment property for that person in which if something else comes along that seems to make better sense in dollars, they may get cold feet or buyer's remorse, which is even worse. So you want to make sure that all of these things here are in place. Now, the other thing that I definitely recommend is a strong deposit. Make sure that you have a great deposit from that buyer. The more the better, but at the same time, you also got to keep in mind the buyer's got to keep money in their account for when they get financing. They have to show that they have adequate dollars in there when it comes time to get the mortgage. So there's a whole bunch of things that you can do to basically protect yourself and ask the right questions. So make sure you and your agent have that discussion, and hopefully you shouldn't have any problems when it comes time to the closing. Thanks, guys.